question and then you let the Mayor speak. Anyway. Mr Mayor, the idea that the hospitality losses is nothing to do with the national insurance rise, though, that's clearly not true, is it? Will you support going back and asking the government to re-look at that?
No, I try not to be political, but I will be political now. Look, you've got a situation where we had a pandemic that exacerbated the challenges that hospitality faced because of the stupidity of a hard Brexit. This hard Brexit meant many Londoners, originally from France or Germany or Romania or Poland or Spain or Portugal, integral to the success of our businesses, left London.
Mr Mayor, the problem is the stupidity of this Labour government and a Mayor that won't stand up for Londoners. It is clear that the national insurance contribution rise is losing jobs across the capital. It isn't just affecting the hospitality industry, it is affecting the police. It is affecting everybody in London that wants to go out and make a living for their family. Blaming that on Brexit is lazy. You know it is part of this Labour government that has made the wrong decisions, and you will still not stand up for London.
Well, maybe the member can explain why there was a deficit to the tune of £22 billion on July the 5th. A number of explanations for that massive deficit. Some of it's because of the interest the previous government's paying on debt accrued. Some of it's because of the consequences of a flatlining economy.
Mr Mayor, I suggest that you go and look at the figures of these last 2 years and what this government has managed to do to our economy in 2 years. They have crushed it. They have taken it from the worst points of the pandemic and taken it even further into the ground. Look at the statistics of what this government has done.
Let the Mayor finish his question.
I thought you wanted a knockabout. You were about a knockabout. You're all good for the Mayor to have it, so let me have my knockabout. You can have
another bit of knockabout. I'm going to add a bit more time of you to have a knockabout. But, Mr Mayor, can you finish answering the question in the way that you want to answer it, and then Assembly Member Best will come back?
You answer the question in the way you want to answer it, so let him say whatever he wants, and then you'll interrupt me.
No, that's unfair. That's unfair. Let the Mayor answer the question. You come back. How you use your time is up to you. How the Mayor answers his question is up to him.
Well, apparently not, because you're intervening on me, but not the Mayor.
No, carry on, Mr Mayor. We'll see what we do about the clock. OK.
So the government's got a choice. They've got to close this £22 billion deficit, and there are ostensibly two ways to close the deficit. You can reduce services, cut services, that reduces your expenditure, or you can raise revenues, which brings the money that comes in. And the government's done a bit of both of those things in reducing some of the services, service provision. People are unhappy about that. And also raising revenues. One way they've raised revenues is by an increase in national insurance contributions. None of us likes paying more taxes or national insurance. None of us likes seeing a reduction in public services. But if the government don't get on top of the deficit, don't be surprised if the markets mean we're paying more in interest, which means rather than either providing public services or tax cuts, we're having money leaving our country by going to interest rate repayments. I don't want that to happen.
Mr Mayor, isn't it funny now you seem to have an understanding of basic economics that you didn't have 5 minutes previous, because you seem to now understand that we have to pay for things like the NHS, we have to pay for free school meals, we have to pay for defence, when you were just arguing before that all these things really are free. This all comes from taxpayers' monies. This is real decisions the government has to make, and at the moment they're putting that on the hospitality industry, which is on its knees. So I'm glad for your support for business rates. I look forward to more support on the national insurance. Thank you.
Assembly Member McCartney.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I too regret TfL's decision to close Southgate Station. I've been making representations to them, including ideas such as entry only in the morning and exit only in the evening, but that seems to be too difficult for them. So I'm glad you're going to ask for a review. Could you ask them to look at all options that would mean that this station actually serves local people?
Yeah, I'm more than happy to do so. And can I just say, look, I'm sorry I've not got the briefing now. I'm more than happy not just to provide the information, but also the challenge you provided to look again on a pragmatic basis they can do. And I'll take on board both of the representations made and get back to both colleagues sooner rather than later. And ask TfL also to get back to both colleagues sooner rather than later.
Thank you.
Assembly Member Lord Bailey.
Thank you, Chair. Happy New Year, Mr Mayor. Do you regret that house building in London has collapsed completely over the past year, with a 73% reduction in new housing starts across London? Do you agree with me that stamp duty for primary residents should be abolished in order to help free up the housing market and get development moving?
Happy New Year as well. I see what's collapsed is Mayor's question time. We get all 25 questions in the first one. It's weird. And so, look, can I thank you for the questions and his greetings, and it's lovely to see him back at Mayor's question time. I do regret the crisis in the housing market across the country, housing sector across the country. It breaks my heart that there aren't enough homes being completed for those families in waiting lists and so forth. He gives one example of a stimulus that I understand why he talks as this is a way to stimulate the market in terms of encouraging people to buy. Clearly, if you're not paying stamp duty, you are encouraged to buy. I've just been lectured by his colleague to his left about the cost of public services. And so I suggest he speaks to her about the revenues the government would lose by stamp duty being cut, and then asks his colleague on his left which public services he'd like to cut as a consequence of that revenue being lost to the Treasury.
I think my colleague was referring to the fact that if you could get a market going, it would pay. Things need to be paid for. If we're going to pay for anything, housing would probably be the one that most people would pick. Look, do you think dedicated support for first-time buyers would be a good thing? It's been done before. It's stimulated the market. We need to do something different. Would you support some of that?
Look, I'm a homeowner. I'm blessed to be a homeowner, and I understand the aspiration people have to be homeowners. There are 2.7 million Londoners renting privately. And I think we've got to think about everyone in terms of housing needs. I want more council housing to be built to provide secure, affordable, good quality homes for Londoners. I want affordable homes to be built for rent and for purchase, and I want homes to be built that people can afford to buy as well. There are different views about whether Help to Buy schemes help. I think generally my anecdotal experience